All right, saludos, saludos. Tenemos el compadre Anthony Quintanilla de Grupo Potente. ¿Cómo estás, compadre?
Estoy muy bien, gracias por la invitación. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Like I said, we're excited with the new single "Hombre Muerto" and the new video. Uh, it's been really doing really well for us. So I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but it's really nice.
It's a good music video. And
Thank you. You've seen it. I'm
oh
sure
yeah,
you've seen it.
oh yeah, I've seen it
Okay.
plenty of times already. I have it as one of my
Oh, good.
favorites on YouTube as well. So yeah, I'm like with me, like ever since I seen you guys like back in the day on that program playing Linda Morenita, man. Like híjole.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And then,
Yeah, go ahead.
oh, I'm just happy seeing you guys doing a big comeback. Like,
Yeah, like it's something that I don't know. When we back in the day, I always tell this to everybody. When you're in the middle of it, right? I mean, back in the late '90s, and I mean we're very young, and we're in the middle of it, and you don't ever think that when you're in the middle of it that I mean I tell my brother this all the time. I didn't appreciate it as much then because you don't feel like it's ever gonna finish, man. It's like awesome, awesome. You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden things happen and then it's gone. And then well, we didn't. I played, in few bands over the years. My brother really didn't. And then all of a sudden, so many years passed. My brother, I was playing in a local band, and I needed an accordion player, and I told my brother, "Do you want to play?" He said, "Yeah." So that's where it started, and then the pandemic hit. That kind of blew off. I mean, it took a lot of steam out of steam, especially specifically out of my brother, and then it's taken a little time to get back, positive. After I know I mean, I'm not gonna say my brother was depressed, but it kind of seemed that way after the pandemic, and now we're back. We recorded Hombre Muerto again, and we're planning a show in Monterrey. I mean, it's been a challenge to set it, but I'm confident that here in the next 4 to 6 months that we're going to be able to set a date. So, yeah, things seem to be positive now. I'm going to keep that trend. Hopefully, keep that trend going.
yeah, for sure. Because like when I was playing Hombre Muerto for my friends, and like once I got it, I'm like, oh yeah, this sounds good. I was
Thank you, man.
like it's a different vibe, but yet when I listen to the other single that came out beforehand too, it's like, okay, they're going a different direction than what you guys are used to, and I kind of like that too because like it's giving that refresh of the band
Well,
and the younger
like I
generation.
said, it has, yes, and then it's something because we battle with this, and it's something that I've talked with the promoters in Mexico. That I get these promoters telling me they want us to play certain songs with our songs, obviously, but they want us to play them like exactly the same. And they're like, well, yeah, we're gonna try to play them almost as the way their fans remember them. But I want you to remember something. I tell them, we aren't. I'm not 20 years old.
Yeah,
I can't sing like that no more. And well, they want us to sing like that and do everything like that. And I said, we're gonna do our best to try to put on a show as similar as we can to the way we used to, but at the same time, I said I can't sound like that singing. I can't go back. I can't be 20 years old again. So I mean, I sound obviously you're referencing the Hombre Muerto. The voice is very very different. I got some people who say, "Man, dude, the voice is phenomenal." And not just because I'm singing it. I know. I mean, the voice sounds really great. I've had multiple people tell me how they love my interpretation of the song, and then I got some people, well, I like it better the way you sang it in 1997. And I said, well, no les ganas, ¿me entiendes? Ni
yeah.
modo.
And honestly, hey, your voice sounds good either way. Like back in the day, okay, but now, like I tell this to a very few people, your voice has gotten better, like a lot better since, like,
Well, that's the idea, and I'm not. because like I said, these are a lot of what I'm telling you is a lot of the behind the
Oh
scenes
yeah.
discussions, behind the scene discussions that I have with the promoters. And I told them, I said, if you go back to the late '90s and any of the bands that are still around, well, there's still quite a few of them, and then some of the bands that started there a few years afterwards in the early 2000s, and they're still gigging right now. I said, go listen to those vocalists then and now. Most of them they've changed, but there's not a drastic change. I said if you go listen to my version of 1997 and you listen to me today, and you don't know that that's the same guy, you'll say that that ain't the same guy. I mean, dude, it's night and day. You know, I didn't really know how to sing that well in those days, and I'm not gonna lie, and it's okay. But I put a lot of hard work over the years. I wasn't playing, but I didn't forget. You know what I mean? I didn't stop loving music just because I got out of the scene. I kept, practicing here at home, and I sing all the time in the radio. Every time I'm in my vehicle, I'm always practicing, practicing. So, you know, and that's what you hear. 20 years of trying to get better.
Yeah, and like honestly, that's always a good thing. At least for me, especially working on vocals and hearing vocals, it's like, yeah, you're doing an awesome job.
Well,
Like
I
that
appreciate it. Thank you. So because
because
you get both into the spectrum, and when you get somebody telling you that they'd rather you sing like you did in 1997, and I know that my 1997 version isn't a, an eighth of what I am today, but like I said, if that's the way the fans liked you, well, they want to hear you that way, and unfortunately, we just gotta go and put on the best show that we can. Every show that we do, we don't do very many, but the few that we do, we rock it. We rock the house.
yeah, and you guys have always been one of those intense bands. Like I remember seeing y'all back in the day, and it was like, wow, I was impressed, and it's like I want to see you guys live. I'm hoping you guys are performing around San Antonio soon.
I would like it. I'm gonna see because we don't get San Antonio. It's not a market that we really do, but I would really like. I'm gonna talk with Juan, and I don't know too many people in the San Antonio area, but I know that Juan and Lila do, and I was gonna see that maybe this coming year they could help us get into the fanfare. I'd like to do a show, in the fanfare. I know that the public that goes down there. I promise that they're gonna love the show we're gonna put on.
Oh, of
I know that.
course.
Dude, I mean, the energy is crazy. I know that. I bring an excessive amount of energy. For me, even at my age, I still bring a lot of energy because that's why I think people go. Me personally, as a fan, I love David Farias. Okay, you
Uh
know
huh.
why? Because David Farias brings the house down. His energy, and he's an older guy, but man, boy, when he gets up there,
That show's
he brings
intense,
energy.
bro. That
Yeah, it is. I mean, Joe's older, but when they sing, they're phenomenal singers. And David, he brings the energy, bro. It's just I love watching David Farias. Any chance I get, I mean, I ran into him here at a local, was it a local quinceañera here a couple months ago. I got to jam out before I was playing with the band before them, Pecado. I got to say hi to the guys. So every time I get, I compliment those guys, man. They're great.
yeah, and also helping out Grupo Pecado, man. It like that. That's an awesome band too.
When I started, because Pecado is a group that I heard of here a couple years ago. All right, and I really like what they did. I like what they do, what they stand for. I like their style. And the brother Gabe was playing with Daniel at the time, and that's a band that I would want to play with. I'm not my age. I really don't want to play with a lot of bands. That band is one that I did because I like their style. And then I don't know, some things happened between them. They reached out and said if I wanted to play because I would keep up with them, message them back and forth. And I got in. I was like, man, I said, hey, bro, I'll play. I'll play this. I'll play in your band. And like, we don't gig a lot. Y'all don't gig a lot. We'll just work around it. And well, I needed a bass player, a more solid bass player. So Daniel says, well, you know what? You play the vocal for me here, and I'll play the bass for you over there. I said, well, shit, man, we got this going on. I
Yeah.
said, so it's awesome. We keep busy through both bands. The music is very, very different. So I never really get tired. I mean, it's whole night and day. With Pecado, we play a lot of cumbias. With Potente, we play a lot of rancheras. So, I mean, it works out for both of us.
Yeah, and I did see that you helped out the Spasmatics as well, and they're an intense band too. Like
Oh, the
I'm
Fat
like
Mags are
yes,
great, man.
yeah. Like with me seeing the Spasmatics and you helping them out, it's like okay, this guy he still has it. He still has it.
No, man, they were great. So, like I said, it was fun.
And like, how do you get started in the industry? That's one of the things I'm wondering. Like, was it family or
Uh,
was it just like,
yes, family. It was family. Like my dad played, in a band many years ago, '70s, and so music ran in. It's in our blood. My mom's side, my dad, my grandpa on my mom's side. I mean, musician, really good musician. My cousins, nephews of my dad, they played in the band with him. So we've always been around it, and just let's try it. And the years went by, and we got into it. And then in the mid '90s, about '95, we put a group together, and we went in San Antonio and won a Cajuto competition. The first prize was recording contract with Freddie Records, and the rest is history, so to speak. You
yeah,
know what I mean? You
that's
got
cool.
you got to hear it. Yeah, that's the short, very short, brief
Yeah.
version of that.
And who are your musical influences? Like, like who influenced you the most in music? Because like for me, I'm hearing so many different sounds and so many different like influences.
Well, that depends on what years we're talking about. You know what I mean? Of course, when Potente was Potente, the heaviest influence was the Chamacos. I mean, they were the it band in those years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every conjunto, young conjunto, was chasing Jaime Dianda and the Chamacos. I mean, dude, they set the standard and they were phenomenal. And I mean, I still watch videos of Jaime and Juan back on the Johnny Calada show on YouTube still to this day. I mean, they were phenomenal. So everybody wanted to be like them. But as the years went by, there's different versions of Potente. Our roots were really Ramon Ayala, Relámpagos, so we could do that style very well. As well. Today, like I said, we do a lot of our older stuff because we don't. It's difficult for us as men now to record material because we all want to do something different.
Oh yeah.
So it's very difficult. Today, I love Michael Jackson's music. That's my influence. I like the way he did stuff, the showmanship, everything about that. That's why I like my brother lets me dance on stage by myself more to more of a show. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because my brother says I really don't want to spend too much time learning all these dance steps. I don't necessarily mind. So a lot of the shows today are based on me moving around on the way. But my brother allows me to do that. My other partner, the drummer Johnny Rodriguez, he also allows. He says, "Go ahead, bro. You be you." And that's the energy I speak of. So it's fun. But today, it's Michael Jackson that I really enjoy, and it's not our genre, but I got a lot of influence from his music to bring to here. And I think it's what Estejanos and Conjuntos, we need to search outside our genre to bring in fresh ideas. And I'm not saying Michael Jackson's from another time, but for this genre, ideas like that, bring them in, create stuff. If you listen to my music personally, I do upload Anthony Quintanilla, my own music. It's very different to Potente. It allows me to express myself outside the group. So and the guys support me with this. So I thank them for allowing me to do that.
And we do have some of that music on the station as well. So that for sure you get a lot of airtime on our station with all your music. So we have it from back in the day hasta hoy. And
Oh man, well thanks, man. I appreciate that.
plus I once they sent me your solo singles that have been out, I was like, okay, I'm putting them on because with the Hound of Spotlight Radio, we're up for like as long as you play Tejano music or within Tejano music and exploring other sounds, hey, we'll play it. Like that.
Well,
That's
see,
one of.
that's the good thing because I read a lot of these comments on Facebook. I get a lot. As a matter of fact, here just a couple of days ago, and I will engage. I'll put my opinion when I see a good conversation going on. What people think the genre needs or what's so wrong with the genre. I'm all over that.
Yeah.
And because I believe that it takes a lot it takes a lot of artists working together, not necessarily together, but with fresh ideas and not be scared. I think that's what it is. We're all scared to do anything that's different because the media and the radios, the few radio stations that are left or whatever, people frown at it. Oh man, it don't sound, you know what I mean? It ain't what I'm used to. Dude, don't worry about it. Is it you? Be you. Don't be scared to be you. Put it out there. People don't like it? Oh well. But if it si pega, pega in grande. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and that's
That's
why,
the idea.
and that's the whole point of why I started up the station, because it's like, hey, you know what? Like, people want opportunities, so okay, I'm going to give them that opportunity. If they want to go
Yes.
and change genres and go and switch it up, so okay, I'm still going to play their music and still support them. So
Well,
we're.
that's the thing is if more people believe like you, it doesn't. You can't hear a song one or two times and it's totally different from what you're accustomed to as a fan. Okay, you hear it once or twice, and you're not gonna, dude. You're not gonna like. How could I say? You ain't gonna switch a thousands of fans by listening to it once or twice. You got to hear it, and hear it, and hear it. You know what? That's not too bad. And the more you hear it, it's pretty good. You're grooving it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why collectively, I tell you, as an industry, we need to play. If it was my way, I'd say, you know what? If it sounds like anything I've heard before, I don't want to play it. I want to play something that doesn't sound like nothing else. And if you do that, well, then you turn it, you switch it, and now all of a sudden, maybe there's a sound out of there that youngsters, it may appeal to some of the youngsters, and that's what it takes. Getting younger listeners to Tejano. Now, how we do that, I don't know. But the person who can figure that out will bring Tejano back. You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean?
And with us, like especially with me, I'm noticing more younger artists and more people listening to Tejano, and it's mostly like thanks to TikTok going and explaining Tejano, thanks to like
Yeah.
little videos here and there explaining how Tejano is, and like seeing a video of Tony de la Rosa and seeing some like younger kids, oh, who are they, and like seeing videos of Czech artists going and explaining how conjunto music and Czech music are almost similar, and just seeing people actually interested in Tejano music through different genres
Well,
is
and
awesome.
it's funny. I'm on a computer screen right now, and I'm on a Facebook page, and I see Jennifer Pena. What do you call it? Well, that's who I'm looking at, and that's funny because I want to mention her specifically because I saw her when she did the Vegas show, and I remember her saying I saw her early on the interview, and she said something. This is going to be like the first show that what did she say that she was going to be able to do what she wanted to do, and I didn't know what that meant specifically. You know what I mean? So I tuned in. I mean, of course, I mean I got thousands of Facebook friends, so some of them are there in Vegas going live. So basically, I'm watching it, right, and I see how she's doing different outfits, putting different outfits on during different songs and stuff like that. And I said, I bet you that's what she's referring to. I liked it a lot. I like what she does. I think she puts her heart and soul into it. She wants to perform. That's kind of what I want to do too. That's why now with Potente, I sing a lot more, not necessarily play the bajo. That's why I brought another bajo player in. I want to do the same thing. I want to put on like a show, and that's why I hat off to her for what she's doing, and I think that that's kind of where we need to think of as a genre. Put on a show, man. Put on a show. People want to see a show. That's what they want. They want to be entertained, not just with the music, but visually as well. And that's why I applaud her for doing that.
Yeah, and that's what I tell a lot of people too. I was like, if I'm gonna book a band or if I'm gonna book anyone, like not only have the people dancing, pero también entertain the people who are sitting down. I was like,
Exactly.
I was like,
Yeah, because you see that you see
yeah,
Frontera right now. I mean, they put on concerts, bro. You know what I mean? They put on concerts, and I'm not a big Frontera fan, but props to what they do. You know what I mean? It's great. It's something that I never thought I could see in my life, and then we're seeing it. But I got to see once again on Facebook. I'm watching them perform. People ain't dancing; they're just there watching them, man. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But they're moving around. They got some energy. I said, that's what it takes, man. See, that's why people, not just the music, they're not just being entertained by the music, but by their movements and how they interact with the crowd. All that counts, man. And that's where we need to get to as a genre, slowly but surely. I know the Oco Juntos, you stand there, boom, boom, and it's great. Don't get me wrong.
yeah,
I'm not snubbing that. Hey, there's still a lot of people who like that, and it's fine. But that is for our generation and people that are older. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That is not going to necessarily fly for your demographic of 30 and under. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
And that's where I am with that. And well, that's the ongoing battle, and hopefully one day, we can get more people on board and more bands on board, and we'll see where we go from there.
oh yeah, for sure. I'm excited about that. That's something that I love. Is something like that. Just at least it's
Yeah.
good to have an artist's opinion about that, and that we both agree that that needs to happen. Because I talk about it with fellow DJs and some musicians, and it's like, well, we don't know how to interact with the crowd. Like, how can you not know how to interact with the crowd?
Well, no,
Seriously.
it's funny because I remember. I don't know how old you are. You got to be similar to my age. Anyway, but I remember listening to when Ramon Ayala came out with the back in the early '90s, con el animador.
Mhm.
Okay, no, so and then think about it. Everything you had to have a guy speak. How the caballeros, that's your standard. What do you call it?
Yeah,
Your MC guy, you gotta have him. You know,
yeah,
he usually plays the percussion and he can speak. If you're gonna be a percussion player, it almost has to be what you got to be able to do. Speaks good Spanish and interact with the crowd. And well, we're not. None of us in our band here in Potente really fit that mold, so to speak. You know what I mean? So told my drummer, I told my drummer Johnny, I said, look, we're gonna we're gonna do this a different way. And I told him this back in 2019 when I got him back. We're starting to get the band back together. I told him this is how we're gonna do this. We're not gonna do no MC. I said, no, that's old school. I said the way we're gonna do it. I said we are going to have a conversation, and that's how we're gonna entertain the crowd. Conversating between us, and then we're bringing the crowd. I mean, dude, we use the light up shoes and everything. I remember when I first started using the light up shoes, that would be like a skit we put on. I said, "Yeah, man, I got these light up shoes. Yeah, man, these guys." I tell them now I don't just have to pack my gear. I got to charge my shoes, and people they're watching and they're like, "Wow." I said, "Yeah, man," and I'm talking to the crowd. And I said, "Yeah, where'd you get your shoes, man? I got them on Amazon, but they sell them on Temu too. You can get them real cheap." Well, there's your show.
oh yeah,
And then Johnny comes in. He says his 2 cents worth, and then my brother Junior he'll say his 2 cents worth. You cover your 3 minutes, and it changes the pace from I'm a caballero, go, whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, same repetitions. Every guy who does that sounds similar. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're right. Like,
Yeah, they're just it's a different band, but they're saying it the same way, exact same thing. So when we go and we interact with the crowd differently, well, we don't fit that mold. You know what I mean? So I told the guys, watch the crowd. I said, and we are doing this to people that are in their late 60s, early 70s, and they're watching. I said, did you see that older couple in front of us? I tell them they were watching, they were laughing at what we were saying because we're entertaining them. It's entertainment. That's
yeah,
all it is. It's different, and we enjoy doing it. We've gotten better and better every time that we've done it.
Yeah, and like honestly, I love shows like that. That's one of the main things why I got into music, and especially like Michael Jackson. Like I'm back on a Michael Jackson thing as well. Like I'm back to listening to the Jacksons. I was like something. I was like something about the bass arrangement and
The bass
and,
is phenomenal.
yeah, the bass and just like some of the drumming. I'm like, wow, how can people?
Some of the
Yeah,
grooves that
some
they
of the
had back in the
groove.
day.
It's
Oh
just
yeah.
like, and then just hearing some of the stories, like, oh yeah, Michael Jackson did this, and he went and wrote the lines for this, and he did this, this, and this, and he did the pre-production for. He's like he laid like seeing some documentary about Michael Jackson, and he's like,
I've seen a bunch of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like just talking about his production there in Neverland, and it's like, okay, hey, he put out a whole like album of just him putting pieces together of like bad and all that. I'm like,
Oh yeah, no. That's why I like a lot of his stuff and the way he was very creative. And it's funny because I watched. Remember they were supposed to do that last tour. This is you,
yeah,
and because I mean you don't know a musician and their strengths and weaknesses until you work with them, right? So I mean you can hear a musician and it's phenomenal. There's no perfect musician, you know what I mean? That's like this just has it all. So we all have weaknesses, we all have strengths. And I was watching that documentary, and they were. I remember they were prepping for that final tour. Of course, he passed away before they could get that tour going. And I saw him doing. And I do a recording here, and I saw him at "Hey Pretty Baby with the High Heels On," and the keyboard player, he wasn't swinging it enough the way Michael wanted. And Michael said, "No, hold on. What do you call it? A little, he didn't know how to tell it to him. Said, just tell him to swing it 20%. That's what he was wanting. I know this because I run my program here at my Studio One, and when I want what he's talking about it, he's swinging it, so I can swing it here 20%, 40%, 60%. What he wanted was more of a swing, but it's funny he couldn't communicate that with the keyboard player. He could just feel it. You know what I mean?
oh yeah,
And of course, I mean, dude, come on, Michael Jackson's one of the best of all time, in my opinion. And so, but it's hard to communicate that, and he didn't play any instruments. If you watch some of the documentaries, he could layer stuff. Boy, he could hear some stuff, but he couldn't play anything. But God, boy, he could layer some things though. So
yeah. And for me,
I'm getting off. I'm getting off topic.
oh
I'm getting
no,
off topic.
no,
I love music.
it's fine because this is all conversation. This is what we want to show the people too. It's like it's not all about music. It's about background influences and just full conversation. And that,
Well, like I said, I mean, I talk a lot of shop.
yeah,
That's what drives me. The music drives me. So I was when I did the Three Amigos show with D. He said, "Well, the people really don't understand that." Yeah, I understand that, but if you want to know who I am, well, this is who I am.
yeah.
I talk shop all the time. It's music, 24/7.
Same
My
thing with
wife will
me.
say, "Yeah, 24/7. It's music." Even when I'm working, I'm thinking in my mind either a song or a video concept, something with music. You know what I mean? It's my passion.
And like I do the same thing. Mostly it's about like, okay, trying to hear the latest release, and then it's like, okay, how can this work with this? Already thinking about transitions and like how to
Yes.
mix, and it's like, okay, I can do something good with this, or this is an interesting song to go and like get someone to go and
Awesome.
listen to the show, and it's just cool. Like music is my life too, so I that's what I tell a lot of people. Like, understand, music is important to me.
Yes, it is, and it's and a lot of people will look at I know because I talk with Royal every once in a while. Royal Jocelyn from the Chamacos. I'll go to his house. He lives about 40 miles from me, and every once in a blue moon, I'll run into him, and we'll go drink some beers at his house, and he'll say, "Man, dude, I can't, dude, the passion that you have for this, it's unbelievable at your age." And I tell him, I said, "Well, it's because I took so many years off. So essentially, I feel like I'm trying to catch up. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? When you take off 10 or 15 years, and in those 10 or 15 years that I mean, there was a 6 or 7 year stretch that I didn't even pick up a ball. I didn't. I would sing when my brother would come down, but I wouldn't play. I just didn't play. I mean, I got so burned out with the politics. It was the politics, not necessarily. I mean, I always loved playing for the fans, but the politics of the business is they're rough. They're rough to deal with, especially as an older teenager or a very young man in his early 20s. Politics are very difficult to deal with, and the peaks and valleys. You know what I mean? That you're
Oh
going to
yeah.
go through. That's my brother. He put it the rigors of the road. That's what he called it. And then, yeah, I guess if you want to sound nice and everything about it, but ultimately that's what led to us kind of just like, you know what? Just I mean, a 3 or 4 year stretch and just man over. You know what I mean? Just I just need a break. And then of course my brother starts his family, and there you go. You know what I mean? Just time just goes by,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden we got back together. You know, like I told you earlier, and I'm happy. We got a band together where the guys seem to be on board. Because when you see us, I don't know if you've seen. I'm certain you've seen some of the artwork, the new artwork.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the things that I always tell everybody. I said, uh, back in the '90s, if you remember, back in the '90s, man, you saw at the Hano band, 80 or 90% of those bands when they got on stage, man, they would dress. They were dressed up good, man. You could tell. They could tell there was a band. I said, today you take the musicians off the stage, you put them in the crowd, it's hard to pick them out.
Yeah.
And I said, you should be able to pick them out. Not okay, if you maybe not one of them, but if you stand them together in a crowd, you should be able to say that's the band easily, because that's my opinion. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that we're getting. Because when I started, I dressed funky as heck, man. You know what I mean? I didn't care. I want people to know, hey, I'm the guy entertaining you.
Yeah.
And my guys at first they didn't want to. I would wear the light up shoes by myself, and then I got my brother to do it. He told me, if you buy them for me, I'll wear them. So I bought him some. And then when Izzy came in the band, he was ready to wear them. And Johnny's like, I ain't wearing them. So we took a picture, and he didn't have any. The other three of us had them. He said, and I told him, what do you say now? The very next day, he went and bought the shoes. Because they cool, man. I said, look, what did people talk? First thing people tell me, man, I talked with Patrick from DML Productions. He says, dude, y'all are killing it, man. The green shoes. And then one of my friends from California, he says, hey, I want some Potente sneakers. I said, there you go.
Yeah.
And I've seen people wear those before, but they don't bring, not. It's not the same. When you have the whole band wearing them, I said, man, it becomes part of an image that you are projecting.
Yeah, and like honestly, the cover for the song as well, like I have to say it's awesome, especially
It's
with
good.
the green light up stickers, and it looks badass. Like it's really
It
badass.
does. I think so too. And you know, a band, like I said, a band that I like the way they dress, and I think they're phenomenal. Is Signal.
Hmm.
I mean, when Richard got in there, they started to change their image. This was years back to what you see today. But if you watch them, everything that they wear, every time that they're together, they don't ever dress the same. But you can tell that's the band.
Yeah,
Whether it's the color scheme, we're a little more conservative than they are, obviously. But the color scheme on how we dress, I've been saying it for over a decade. I said, Signal, I tell my drummer Johnny, I said, watch Signal. Watch how their stage presence is phenomenal. Jesse, it's all predicated around Jesse. Jesse moves a certain way. Richard and Checo, I mean, they got it to perfection. You know, when you watch them on stage. I said, and then the way they dress, I like it. I'm not the biggest fan of their songs. I used to like their older music, but I'm a huge fan of how they put on a show. You know what I mean? Jesse's great at entertaining crowds, and that's something that I like to implement. Even though our styles are nothing the same, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you watch how we dress. You look at it. Yeah, they said each one of those guys. You watch them. They dress to their identity, who they are. Jesse's always dressed a little more conservative than most of them because his personality is a little more conservative than they are. But dude, awesome. And you watch us. I'm the one that's the wildest out there. I've always had the weirdest stuff on because I'm the one that's most out there. Johnny wears normal clothing and so forth and so forth. But two, my Bible player, he likes sports coats. So wear a sports coat, wear the color that we want underneath, and we all have our identities.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's what you see on that Hombre Muerto artwork.
And honestly, it's one of the best covers I have seen lately. And just
Definitely.
marketing wise, it just looks cool. Like that, like I just like the whole gimmick because it's like with marketing and sales, like that's one of my favorite things. And it's like, okay, this can actually sell more. And
Of
we can,
course.
yeah, like just like even thinking about the shoes too. I'll go and buy a whole box off of Timo or something and go and put Potente on the side. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, dude, the shoes, and I'm like, they change colors. So
Yeah.
we're wearing purple. We set the color to purple. Set it to red, blue, whatever. And, those are the predominant: the greens, the purples, the blue, the red. You know,
Yep.
those are the colors that you change them, and they have like a flashy, like a what do you call that? A strobe. I'll wear the strobe. You watch it on the video where I'm dancing. I put them on the strobes. But if when I'm playing with a group, it's on blue. So if we don't match, like when I wear white and black, I'll just put them on strobes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the lights will match the outfits. So it's cool.
Yeah, and for me, like there's so many ways you can go with that as just
Hmm.
entertainment wise, and it's like, oh yeah, you can sell glow sticks también for your show. Shoot, like
Yes, yeah. You sound like my wife now.
like there's so many concepts, and it's like, yeah, like just with this neon thing, there's so much money. But
No,
I
for me,
have
it's just an idea, and it was difficult to get the guys on board. You'd be surprised. I mean, and now I got these guys telling me, "What are we gonna wear, man? I got this. I got this."
for me,
I got
I just want to go and party with y'all now.
Oh man, let me tell you, dude. I hope we can get that show going in, and hopefully Lila and Juan can help us get there into the what's it called, the fanfare, because I tell you, man, I guarantee you the crowd of San Antonio will really enjoy the show that we're going to put on. I mean, it's going to be good, and we just put it together, and it's only going to get better. By
Oh,
that time, by March, man, it's going to be phenomenal.
dude, I'll be ready for that. March is around my birthday, so yeah, if you guys are performing, hell yeah, I'm
Well, I'm gonna make a run at it. I don't know. Like I said, I got to talk with Juan and Lila and see. I don't know anybody. I'm a musician. You know what I
yeah,
mean? That's not what I do. I mean, I play music and I entertain. That's what I do. And I told the promoter, because the promoter from Monterrey who was working with, he was telling me. He came in telling me we need to do this. You need to do that. I said, look, man. I said, don't tell me how to do my job, and I will tell you how to do your job. Okay?
yeah,
I said, don't take this personal. I said, but dude, I think I know. I've been doing this for 30 years. I think I know what I need to do when I get up on stage. If I don't know it in 30 years, then I should get out of this business. That's
yeah,
quite honestly. And then we had an issue here where when the cat was when our show we were supposed to do a show the 30th of August over there, and then he calls me and says, you know what, we're gonna reschedule it. We didn't sell the amount of pre-sale tickets that we want to, and we want to bring you guys with a full house. We don't want you to just 25% of the place full. We want it full. So, and I mean, we didn't care. We wanted to go. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But I understand him as a promoter. You know what his job is. I said, bro, I told you a couple of weeks. Don't tell me how to do my job. I'm not happy about this, but bro, that's your job. If you think that it needs to be rescheduled and the list of bands redone, well, I'm not going to tell you how to do your job. That's what you do.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I just take care of the music. That's what I do, and get up there and entertain with all the energy and all my heart.
And any shout outs you want to give?
To anybody who's helped us, who's supporting us, muchísimas gracias a todos, a toda la raza de Monterrey, de México que nos apoyan, muchísimas gracias. Si hay raza de Monterrey o México que están escuchando esta entrevista, my family, my mom, my sisters, my Rodriguez family, my mom's side of the family, my Quintanilla side of the family, for all those folks who've helped us out and continue to support us, for the Rodriguez family, the Pettis family, Sanchez family, everybody who supports us. We have a very close group of our guys. I mean, we have to. It seems like everything always goes wrong with us, so we're real close, and that's why it's all about family and the support that they give us. Because if it wasn't for that support, I don't know if we'd still be playing.
And I want to thank you for calling up the show and doing this awesome interview. And también, like, for sure, whenever you guys are around the area, or hopefully I'll be around your area to see you guys perform, like, I can't wait to see it.
Oh man, it'd be great. I'll be able to meet you in person, say hi, take some pictures. And I'd love for you to take in our show. I'm quite sure that if you see it, you're gonna like it, and not just you. If that's what I'm hoping that we can get a slot in fanfare if we can, man. I know there's gonna be a lot of people there that are gonna really be like, wow, this is a good band. That's what we're trying. You know, we want people, we want to entertain people, and we want to put on a good show for the all the fans.
And with everyone that's going to be listening in to the rebroadcast and on the podcast, if you guys know any other promoters, any other places that we can go and get them booked in, sabes que go give a call to
Anthony Quintanilla, Potente, or Lila. Get a hold of Lila or Juan Mendoza. I work with them. These are great people. I met them a few years ago for the first time. I've always kept up with my Chingon radio, but I ran into them at a fanfare. And I was telling B on the Three Amigos show, I don't know who's more starstruck, me or them. When they said, this is Juan and Lila. Wow! He said, that's Anthony from Potente. And we're looking, oh man, it was awesome to meet them, and I'm glad to be working with them. They help us out a lot.
Yeah, Juan and Lila are always awesome. Like they help me out también, and they thanks to Lila for setting up this interview as well. And of course, like with this interview, it's gonna rebroadcast on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and all over the place. So for sure, like if you want to go and listen to this interview again, just go and subscribe, subscribe, and follow us. También go and like Grupo Potente también. Go check out the music video también, because honestly, it's
I had a
badass.
great time, man. I'm telling you, dude. I told Denise. I told her. I said, man, I hope, because Denise and Daniel from Pecado, they're the ones who shoot the videos. And I said, well, I hope that more bands will want to come and will you shoot a video with you guys, because they're phenomenal minds. They think really really good, and concepts of the videos. And she says, well, not a lot of bands really want to do videos like this. They just kind of want to play. He said, they said, we pitched you to be a bum and you jumped all over it. I said, oh, heck yeah, I want to act. You know what I mean? So I got to go and be a bum, and I said, tell me what I got to do. And I did it, and I think the video came out great. They did a great job, and I've had a lot of positive feedback on it.
And for sure, I like the music video, and we're gonna put it on the station as well, so on the fan page as well, so at least people can go and take a look at it. And también thank you, compadre, for calling up the show. Honestly, it's a huge honor, and I can't wait to see more of you guys performing.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much for having me on, man. Like I said, it was a pleasure, and hopefully, ojalá que muy pronto, we'll be somewhere and we can get a hold of you and you can go check out the show. It'd be a pleasure to have you there.
Oh yeah, and would you like to introduce your latest single?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this.
que no causas, que nunca pensé que tú fueras así. Te ha dado mi vida y ahora te marchas, sabiendo que te amo y que muero sin ti. Esperas que entiendas sereno y con calma que la vida sigue contigo sin ti. Cuando en un momento me has matado el alma, no sé cómo quieres que me sienta feliz. Soy un hombre muerto por dentro, ya no siento amor ni ilusión. Has puesto veneno en mis sentimientos y en el corazón. Soy un hombre muerto por dentro, eso es lo que has hecho de mí. Qué sangre tan fría y qué suerte la mía enamorarme de ti. Sereno y con calma, que la vida sigue contigo sin ti. Cuando en un momento me has matado el alma, no sé cómo quieres que me sienta feliz. Soy un hombre muerto por dentro, ya no siento amor ni luz. En mis sentimientos y en el corazón. Soy un hombre muerto por dentro, eso es lo que has hecho de mí. Qué sangre tan fría y qué suerte la mía enamorarme de ti. Y qué suerte